This is a place where players can come and get better and be surrounded by an organization that supports you, where they're going to have everything they need to be successful.
Caitlin Clark's team is about to undergo a transformation, and fans should prepare for an incredible season. Stephanie White just dropped a bombshell on the entire Fever squad, and let me tell you, this is the kind of shakeup you've been dreaming of. White is here to level up this team with players who are fiercely loyal and truly dedicated to the Fever's cause. These are the game changers who understand the true meaning of sportsmanship and are ready to fight for a championship.
Because it's time for the Fever to compete for a championship, and Sabally would be a huge piece for that.
Seriously bless whoever had the genius idea to make White the head coach, because without her, we'd still be stuck with Christy Sides watching the team crumble to pieces. White's vision, it's electrifying, it's strategic, and it's about to transform the Fever into a powerhouse you're not ready for what's coming. See, that's the past tense, right? She's referencing the past there. And just when you think the excitement couldn't get any higher, Kelly Koff comes strolling back onto the scene. If you don't know, Koff is the ultimate mastermind, the legend who led the Fever to their only WNBA championship back in 2012. She's back with a vengeance, and this time she's not thinking small, no minor tweaks, no soft moves. Kopp's got a plan so ambitious it's borderline reckless, signing 10 game-changing free agents. 10, let that sink in. This is a full-scale overhaul, a complete rebranding of the Fever's future. The message is crystal clear. Mediocrity isn't an option. They're coming for everything. And I think oftentimes people forget that I'm a great person before a basketball player. So for me as a big sister, I'm just like, I'm going to take the first step first. So just let her know, like we. Here we got you. Whatever you need from me is your vet now. If you're not already hyped, let's talk about what might become the most electrifying backcourt the WNBA has ever seen. Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey is already a certified bucket getter, dropping a wild 19. 2 points per game last season, and Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell make up the most electrifying backcourt in the WNBA. And she wasn't just good, she was jaw-droppingly good, torching defenses for 20-plus points in 7 straight games after the Olympic break defenders must have been having nightmares just waiting to get cooked game after game. Are you in a position where you can add some pieces? Yes, we are. We're definitely in a position, and I would think that if you are a smart basketball player and you watch the way she plays, you would want to play with her. Enter Caitlin Clark. This is a straight-up franchise revolution. Clark is more than a scorer. She's a walking highlight reel with playmaking skills that could make even the best defenders question their existence. Her vision, her passing, her court sense, it's all elite. She's the perfect partner for Kelsey Mitchell, and together they could create an offensive spectacle that'll have WNBA defenses crying for mercy. Opponents, pick your poison, because there's no safe option with these two on the floor. Good thing for women's basketball. I'm playing alongside this kid. So it makes everything you know a little bit more dramatic, and like the people are coming out to see this person, so we just do what we can do. We embrace it. I'm pretty sure our organization can feed off of it. Of course, keeping Kelsey Mitchell around isn't going to be a simple handshake deal. No, she's going to demand that supermax bag, likely somewhere around $250,000. That's a huge slice of the salary cap, and it's going to test the Fevers financial wizardry. It's the kind of situation where one wrong decision could mean years of regret, or if done right, could mean championships, big stakes, big drama, and we're here for it because Kelsey Mitchell said basketball is a language, and you have to get on the same page. Me and Caitlin like to play fast and up-tempo, and I'm always going to align based on how she's playing and how she's going, but it's not just about the backcourt. Let's shift gears to the Fever's front court and the tantalizing possibility of bringing in Ogwumike. If you're wondering, is she still elite, the answer is A. Resounding yes, she put up 16, 6 points and 7. 6 rebounds per game last season, but she's not just about the numbers out, these stats. Look at these numbers last year. Nneka, she averaged her best numbers since her MVP season in 201. Nneka is a 9-time All-Star and a former MVP who brings the kind of leadership that can completely change a team's culture. Imagine her mentoring Aaliyah Boston, one of the Fever's young stars. We're talking about generational growth, the kind of mentorship that turns potential into domination. It's thrilled here on SportsCenter tonight to be able to announce right here, right now, that your 2016 WNBA Most Valuable Player is Nneka Oram. Kelly Koff's strategy to sign Ogwumike isn't just about throwing money at her. No, it's a masterclass in persuasion. Koff pitching a dream, selling a vision of a dynasty surrounded by talents like Clark and Boston. Ogwumike could be the linchpin, the piece that makes the Fever not just playoff contenders, but a legitimate powerhouse. It's a cultural reset. A. Chance to put the Fever back on the map and maybe even make some WNBA history one-on-one and put her skills on display with Clark's playmaking and Mitchell's scoring. We might be looking at Satou Sabally. Could be the ultimate game changer for the Indiana Fever. We're talking about a 6'6" in forward who doesn't just play basketball, she dominates it. Her 2023 numbers are nothing short of jaw-dropping 17. A 9.6. 4 rebounds and 5 assists per game, and she's not just a one-trick pony. Sabally does it all: scoring, playmaking, rebounding, and she's got the defensive chops to boot. That level of versatility, it's the stuff WNBA coaches dream about. If the Fever can pull off signing her, we're looking at a whole new level of competitiveness on both ends of the court. One high-profile free agent who would be a perfect fit for the Fever is Satou Sabally from the Dallas Wings, who was at the Liberty Parade with her sister enjoying that, and some people could make the case that maybe she'd want to go to New York. What makes Sabally such a perfect fit for the Fever? Oh, just about everything. She's built to run, handle the ball, and thrive in a high-tempo offense. Exactly the style the Fever are gearing up to unleash. Imagine her flying down the court, receiving no-look dimes from Caitlin Clark, or stepping back for a deep three, while the defense scrambles add in her size and scoring ability, and defending Indiana's offense becomes a defensive coordinator's worst nightmare. Good luck finding a game plan for that. But the Fever, she would be an awesome and amazing fit as the stretch 4. But here's the catch: signing Sabally is easier said than done. She's a restricted free agent, which means the Dallas Wings have first dibs and can match any offer the Fever throws at her. Talk about complicating things. Indiana will have to get creative, maybe a front-loaded deal or performance-based incentives to make Dallas sweat. It's basically a high-stakes chess match, and the Fever's front office needs to play this game like Bobby Fischer on a caffeine binge. And if you're looking at their C table, it seems like they do have the room to make a big-time acquisition. Kelsey Mitchell is going to get a max deal that's going to be priority number 1. But then they have to bolster the rest of the roster because it's time for the Fever. And just to make things more spicy, Sabally has been flirting with Indiana Fever fans on social media. She's liking comments, engaging with posts, and basically fueling enough speculation to keep Twitter buzzing for weeks. Sure, it doesn't mean she's packing her bags for Indiana, but it's enough to get the Fever faithful dreaming of the possibilities if Sabally actually does end up in Indiana. You might as well book your tickets for the playoffs now. Her arrival would immediately catapult the Fever into championship conversations, turning them from a rebuilding project into a legit powerhouse. Some comments on TikTok about the Fever, wanting to bring her in. Fever will welcome. She like that, would love to see you with the Fever with some heart emojis. Not that that means anything. But nonetheless, that is a positive indicator, at least for Fee. Now let's talk about Natasha Howard. Another piece of the Fever puzzle that's almost too good to be true. Howard is an absolute defensive monster. In 2023, she averaged 17, 6.6, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 3 steals per game. She's the kind of player who makes life miserable for opponents. Her versatility allows her to guard every position, disrupt offensive schemes, and anchor a defense like nobody's business. Pair her with Aaliyah Boston, and you've got a paint presence that's basically impenetrable Sheldon on the floor. It's a foot race, 3 seconds left. Natasha Howard trains it, ties it at 92. And let's not forget what Howard brings offensively with her rim protection. Caitlin Clark would be free to push the pace, even more, turning Indiana into a track meet on hardwood. Clark leading the fast break, Howard finishing at the rim. It's the kind of basketball that makes highlight reels explode. This Fever squad could go down as one of the fastest, most electrifying teams the WNBA has ever seen. And who wouldn't want to watch that? I plant these seeds. Now WNBA players in 3 decades will see the tree in full bloom and be able to pick the fruit off and just enjoy the literal fruits. But Howard's value doesn't stop there. She's a 3-time WNBA champion and a 2019 Defensive Player of the Year. That's not just talent, that's pedigree. Her experience could be a game changer for players like Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, who are still getting their feet wet in the league. Howard knows what it takes to win, and she's the kind of mentor who could turn potential into rings. Her presence alone could transform the Fever into a team that not only wants to win, but expects to win. Also seen them in the league, but we know however, creating the financial room for Sabally and Howard won't be a walk in the park. The Fever might have to make some heart-wrenching decisions, like letting go of veterans or sacrificing future draft picks. Odyssey sends Alex Bentley and Erica Wheeler. These are players with serious experience and mentorship value, especially for someone like Clark. But if the Fever want to build a championship roster, they'll have to weigh their options carefully and maybe take a few risks. Playoff games, Bentley got it. The ambition here is off the charts, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The Fever are making moves, and if things pan out, we're about to witness one of the greatest transformations in WNBA history. But of course, there's always the looming question, can the Fever afford all this without imploding? Financially, it's a gamble of epic proportions, but if Coffin White can pull this off, it could redefine the franchise. The potential is massive, the stakes even higher, and every WNBA fan out there better buckle up, because this offseason is going to be a roller coaster.